Hi, Pastor Steve Waldron here, New Life Pentecostal Church, Albany, Georgia. New book by Thomas J. Dilorenzo. Now, he's a professor, I think, at Frostburg State up in Maryland, somewhere up in there. I should have had that before I did this video. But this is an excellent book against socialism. Because what's happened here, I was just reading a poll by Frank Luntz, and he says that millennials don't know what socialism is, but they do know what they want. They want free college and free health care and free everything else, which there's no such thing as a free lunch. Capital has to be created from somewhere. But that's what they know, and so that is basically socialism. That's why they were so on fire for Bernie Sanders, because Bernie Sanders is a self-described socialist. Now, if you study Marx, I'll tell you one of the best couple books on Marx. One is Marx and Satan by Richard Wurmbrand, who was that pastor from the Iron Curtain who had done such great research on Marx. You know, Marx is kind of where socialism really got its genesis. The germs of it were from the Enlightenment in the 18th century, but he's the one that codified it with the young Hegelians and all of that. And then the next is a great article by Murray Rothbard, who was one of the most voluminous scholars I have ever read in my life. He was encyclopedic in his knowledge and backstory of almost anything he went to handle. I mean, he can tell you private conversations, and it's just there. He knows it. He has got it. And so Rothbard and Wurmbrand. But anyhow, so the basic thing is Marx was a Christian. He wrote great Christian poetry, and then he went to college and quickly became alienated and became basically a Satanist. And then he would write poems about how he was going to be a destroyer. He said, since I can't be like God and create, I'm going to destroy God's creation. So he came up with an economic system that would destroy mankind. And unfortunately, most people are deceived into believing it because we have a sinful nature that inherently believes lies rather than the truth. What Dilorenzo does, he doesn't go into any of that. He just goes into the backstory of what is socialism. It's dedicated to all victims of socialism, past, present, and future. So the first chapter, I'll just read you the table of contents. The problem with socialism, why socialism is always and everywhere an economic disaster. Remember, Margaret Thatcher said that you run out of spending other people's money. Egalitarianism versus human reality. Islands of socialism, the follies of government enterprise. Why the worst rise to the top under socialism. The socialist roots of fascism. The myth of successful Scandinavian socialism. They had a great free market economy that socialism has spent decades destroying. So it's not the Scandinavian miracle. It's the Scandinavian destruction of capitalism. How welfare harms the poor. So people say, oh, you hate. No, we love the poor. But there's other means to help them. How socialized medicine kills the patient and robs the taxpayer. How socialism causes pollution. Karl Marx's progressive income tax, minimum wage, maximum folly, how socialist regulation makes monopolies. Because a capitalist, an ingenuitive capitalist, doesn't have the capital to get started, even with a great idea, with government debt burdening him down. So it's only the ones that are already there, the winners, want to make it as oppressive as possible to get the free marketeers going. So that way they can keep a monopoly. Destroying capitalism by socializing capital. Is socialism really the best way to organize schools? Socialist myths and superstitions about capitalism with notes and an index. And so it's been said, besides the Bible, one of the best gifts you could give your young person is this book. If you can find a good deal on it, I'd probably agree with that, because if the Lord tarries, we are bringing in a mindset that is going to destroy what's left of America and personal freedom. It's a bad thing. Keep praying for America. God's got great revival here. Love you guys. God bless.